The movie begins with a woman waking up in bed next to a man she has never seen before. She quietly slips out of the room and heads to the bathroom. Covering the walls are dozens of photographs showing her life with the same man, along with yellow sticky notes explaining who he is. According to the notes, the man's name is Ben. He's her husband, and they've been married for 14 years. There are photos from their wedding, pictures of their home, and reminders meant to help her piece her life back together. When she walks back into the bedroom, the man is already awake. He introduces himself as Ben and explains that her name is Christine. He tells her she's 40 years old and suffered a severe head injury after a terrible car accident. Because of the damage to her brain, she can only form memories for a single day. Every time she falls asleep, everything she learned disappears, and the next morning she wakes up believing she's still in her early 20s. The truth overwhelms Christine, and she's terrified. Ben comforts her, asking her to trust him as he patiently tells her the story of their relationship. He explains how they met while she was studying history at King's College, eventually got married, and built a life together. To help her remember, he hands her a photo album filled with pictures from their past. Christine asks if every single morning starts like this, and Ben admits that it does. He then shows her a whiteboard covered with reminders about her daily routine, where important items are kept around the house and things she needs to do. One note reminds her to pack a bag, and Ben explains it's their anniversary today. He promises he's taking her somewhere special after work, but keeps the destination a surprise before heading off for the day. After Ben leaves for work, Christine notices a bruise on her face while looking in the bathroom mirror. Before she has time to think about it, the house phone suddenly rings. Unsure whether she should answer, she hesitates before finally picking up. The caller introduces himself as Dr. Nash. Although his name means nothing to her, he explains that they've been working together for weeks, trying to understand her memory loss and hopefully find a way to treat it. Christine says Ben never mentioned any doctor, but Dr. Nash admits that Ben doesn't even know about their sessions. He asks Christine to go to her bedroom, open the wardrobe closest to the bathroom, and search for a hidden shoe box at the back. Inside, she discovers a video camera. Following his instructions, she presses play. On the screen, Christine sees herself speaking directly to the camera. The woman in the video introduces herself as Christine Lucas and explains that she's 40 years old and suffers from severe amnesia. She says that every night, while she sleeps, her mind erases everything she learned that day, forcing her to start over every single morning. Just as she's about to reveal something important, she suddenly hears someone approaching, panics, blurts out that he is coming, and stops the recording. The movie then jumps back 2 weeks earlier. Christine is riding in Dr. Nash's car as he explains that their arrangement is far from a normal doctor-patient relationship. He's been secretly picking her up from home and taking her to his office without Ben knowing. Dr. Nash explains that he first spotted her by chance in a park 6 months earlier. She had already been referred to him by another specialist, but he'd never managed to contact her. After recognizing her from her medical file, he introduced himself and explained that he was a neuropsychologist researching rare cases of psychogenic amnesia. Christine agreed to give him the phone number she'd written in her diary, and when he called a few days later, she didn't remember him at all. Even so, she agreed to meet him again. Eventually, Christine mentioned the treatment to Ben, but according to Dr. Nash, Ben insisted she'd already gone through countless treatments over the years and none of them had helped. Instead, they only left her more distressed. At his office, Dr. Nash gives Christine a video camera and suggests she keep a visual diary. Since she can't remember anything from one day to the next, the recordings will let each new version of herself catch up on everything that happened the day before. Then Dr. Nash reveals that according to her medical records, Christine was never injured in a car accident. She was brutally attacked and left for dead on an industrial estate near several airport hotels after suffering repeated blows to the head. He even shows her the medical report and old newspaper articles describing the assault. The revelation completely shocks Christine, who realizes Ben has been lying to her. Dr. Nash believes Ben probably changed the story because telling her the truth every single morning would be too traumatic. Christine asks who attacked her, but Dr. Nash says the police never found the person responsible. The only witness who might know the truth is Christine herself. As he drives her home, Dr. Nash advises her to keep the camera a secret. He helps her hide it inside a shoe box at the back of her wardrobe and promises to call every morning to remind her where to find it. That night, while Ben is downstairs, Christine sneaks into the bathroom and records a message for her future self, explaining her condition and everything Dr. Nash has told her. Just as she's about to reveal something important, she hears Ben coming upstairs. She quickly turns the camera off, hides it back in the wardrobe, and rushes into bed, pretending to be asleep. The next morning, Christine wakes up with no memory of the previous day. Ben patiently tells her the same story all over again, and shortly after he leaves for work, Dr. Nash calls to reintroduce himself and remind her about the hidden camera. After watching the recording, Christine once again learns the truth about her condition and discovers that Ben lied about the accident. Realizing she would have believed everything Ben told her without the camera, she starts wondering what else he's been hiding. Dr. Nash picks her up and takes her to the place where she was found 10 years earlier. He admits that returning to the scene of a traumatic event rarely restores someone's memory, but he hopes it might trigger something while helping them build trust. There they meet the man who discovered Christine after the attack. He leads them to a narrow space between two parked trucks and points to the exact spot where he found her. She was completely naked except for a plastic sheet wrapped around her body, covered in blood, and so badly beaten that she couldn't even remember who she was or how she got there. Back in the car, Christine can't understand why she would have been near the airport hotels in the first place, since she lived nearby. Dr. Nash suggests she may have been meeting someone. He then reveals her examination showed she'd recently had sexual intercourse, but there were no signs of assault and no DNA evidence that could identify the man she'd been with. The possibility completely throws Christine off. She insists she doesn't seem like the kind of person who would cheat on her husband, but then realizes she has no idea who she really was before the attack. As the days pass, Christine continues following Dr. Nash's treatment. During one of their memory exercises, she's shown a series of photographs while her brain activity is monitored. One picture triggers a reaction, and Christine remembers flashes of a red-haired woman named Claire. Dr. Nash is encouraged because it's the first real memory she's recovered on her own. That evening, Christine asks Ben if she ever had any friends. Ben tells her she used to have plenty and was very popular before the accident. When she specifically asks about Claire, he hesitates before admitting that she was once one of Christine's closest friends. According to Ben, Claire eventually stopped visiting because she couldn't cope with Christine forgetting who she was every single day. He even shows Christine old photos of the two of them together. Christine is hurt that Ben never mentioned Claire before and accuses him of hiding parts of her life. Ben loses his patience, explaining that living with her condition is exhausting. Every morning, he has to watch his wife become a complete stranger again, and sometimes he simply doesn't have the strength to tell her things that will only cause more pain. Later that night, Christine records another message for her future self. Looking straight into the camera, she warns herself not to trust Ben. She also tapes the photos of Claire onto the bathroom wall so she'll notice them the next morning. After that, Ben walks into the bathroom to brush his teeth and notices the pictures hanging on the wall. The following morning, Christine wakes up with no memory once again. After Ben leaves for work, Dr. Nash calls to guide her back to the hidden camera. As she watches the recordings, she learns about Claire all over again and hears a warning from her past self not to trust Ben. She also notices from the recording that the photos of Claire she taped to the bathroom wall are gone, replaced with pictures of herself and Ben instead. Christine searches the house until she finally finds the missing photos hidden away. The moment she touches them, another memory flashes back. She's at a party, feeling sick, when Claire follows her into a bathroom. After throwing up, Christine tells her friend that she's pregnant. The memory leaves Christine shaken. She rushes to the photo albums Ben left for her, searching for any sign that they ever had a child, but there's nothing. Then she notices the stretch marks on her stomach, and another memory flashes through her mind, this time of a little boy talking to her. Christine calls Ben and demands to know why he's been hiding their son. Ben asks her to wait until he gets home before explaining that they did have a son named Adam, but he died from meningitis just a few weeks before his 9th birthday. He then brings out a box filled with Adam's photographs and belongings, saying he kept them hidden because forcing Christine to relive their son's death every single day felt unbearably cruel. That night, Christine is haunted by disturbing dreams. She sees flashes of the man who attacked her, noticing a scar running across his cheek. She also dreams about a letter addressed to Mommy. Inside is a child's drawing of the same scarred man, with the name Mike written underneath. The next day, Dr. Nash picks Christine up as usual, and she immediately tells him about the name Mike. She explains that after her dreams, she's convinced Mike is the man who attacked her. Dr. Nash comforts her with a hug. For a brief moment, it seems like he's about to kiss her. As Christine pulls away, she notices his hospital ID badge and realizes his first name is Mike. Convinced she's just uncovered the identity of her attacker, Christine runs. Dr. Nash chases after her with a syringe in his hand. Sometime later, Christine wakes up at home feeling groggy. The phone rings, and it's Dr. Nash. Since it's still the same day, she remembers everything that happened. Dr. Nash explains that he only gave her a mild sedative to calm her down after she panicked. He says her damaged memory caused her imagination to fill in the missing pieces, making her believe he was the man who attacked her simply because his name matched the one from her dream. The following day, Dr. Nash tells Christine he can no longer be her doctor because he's developed feelings for her. Treating her any further would be completely unethical, so he's arranged for another specialist to take over her care. Christine begs him to continue the therapy, insisting that he's the only person helping her recover. Dr. Nash points out that when he called her that morning, she'd already watched her video diary before answering the phone. For the first time, she'd managed to remember something on her own. It's a promising sign that her memory is improving, but he warns her not to get her hopes up. Remembering something today doesn't mean she'll remember it tomorrow. Dr. Nash then reveals that after Christine's attack, Ben placed her in an assisted care facility. While checking the facility's records, Dr. Nash learned that Ben divorced her 4 years ago. He also discovered that Claire had repeatedly tried to contact Christine there, but never managed to reach her. Before Christine leaves, he gives her Claire's phone number. Back home, Christine calls Claire and leaves a voicemail asking her to call back as soon as possible. Then Christine goes to Ben's workplace and confronts him about the divorce. He explains that after their son Adam died, he completely fell apart and walked away from their marriage because he couldn't cope with the grief. Even now, he insists he never stopped loving her. The following day, Claire finally returns Christine's call. They decide to meet at the Greenwich Observatory, since Claire seems uncomfortable coming to Ben's house. They are so happy to see each other. Christine surprises Claire by telling her she actually remembers her. Christine then asks her about the identity of her attacker. Claire explains that, before the attack, life had become incredibly stressful. Christine was trying to balance raising Adam while starting a new teaching job, and the constant pressure had caused frequent arguments between her and Ben. Then Claire reveals that shortly before the attack, Christine had started an affair. Christine never revealed the man's identity, but after she was found, Claire had no choice but to tell Ben the truth. Christine begins to understand why Ben has been hiding so much from her, including Claire herself. But Claire admits she's hiding a secret too. After Christine's attack, she spent a lot of time helping Ben care for both Adam and Christine. One day, completely overwhelmed by grief, she and Ben ended up sleeping together. It happened only once, and consumed by guilt, Claire decided the best thing she could do was disappear from both of their lives. Christine is shocked, and as she's about to leave, Claire stops her and hands her a sealed letter. Ben wrote it years ago and asked Claire to give it to Christine only if she ever recovered enough to understand it. As Christine reads the letter, the heartbreaking truth finally becomes clear. Ben explains that although he never stopped loving her, he had to leave her for Adam's sake. Because Christine forgot their son every single day, she eventually began believing Adam had been taken away from her as a baby. Whenever she saw him, she thought she was meeting him for the first time. One day, she grabbed Adam and tried to run away with him, terrifying the young boy. Eventually, Adam became afraid of visiting his own mother. Ben realized he couldn't keep putting their son through that pain, so he made the impossible decision to leave and raise Adam himself. Overcome with guilt, Christine records another message for her future self. Looking into the camera, she apologizes to Ben, tells him she forgives him for leaving, and says she'll always love him. Later that evening, Christine finally shows the camera to Ben. At first, he watches the recordings in silence, but when he realizes she's been secretly meeting Dr. Nash, his demeanor instantly changes. He accuses Christine of having an affair with the doctor before slapping her across the face and storming out of the house. Christine calls Claire and explains that Ben lost his temper, slapped her, and stormed out of the house. A short while later, Claire calls back sounding panicked. She says she spoke to Ben, but according to him, he hasn't seen Christine in 4 years. Claire asks Christine to describe the man she's living with. As Christine lists his features, Claire asks if he has a scar on his face from an old skiing accident. Christine says he doesn't. That's when Claire tells her the man she is living with isn't Ben. Then Claire urgently asks her to find out the address so she can send help. Before Christine can escape, the man returns and knocks her unconscious. The next morning, Christine wakes up with no memory once again. This is the same morning the movie opened with. After Ben leaves for work, Dr. Nash calls and reminds her about the hidden camera. As she watches the recordings, Christine sees herself declaring her love for the man she believes is Ben and saying she hopes they can finally build a life together. A little later, Ben calls to remind her to pack a bag for their anniversary trip that evening. Before picking Christine up, he goes to Dr. Nash's office and warns him to stay away from her. That evening, Ben takes Christine to a hotel near the place where she was found after the attack. As soon as she walks inside, everything starts feeling familiar. More memories begin coming back, and she realizes this isn't Ben at all. His name is Mike. Christine remembers that Mike was the man she was having an affair with, and he admits everything. After Ben divorced Christine and placed her in an assisted care facility, he couldn't stand seeing her there anymore. He forged documents, pretended to be Ben, and took her to live with him. He says he did it because he loved her, but after years of lying, he's tired of keeping up the act. As Mike talks, Christine remembers what really happened the night of the attack. Mike wanted her to leave Ben and tell him about their affair, but she refused. The argument got out of control, and Mike brutally attacked her, leaving her for dead and causing the brain injury that erased her memory. Now that Christine knows the truth, Mike deletes all the videos on her camera and tells her he's done pretending to be Ben. He says they'll either leave this room together as a couple, or neither of them will leave. Then Mike tells Christine to forget about Adam because Adam has already forgotten about her. But instead, those words make Christine realize that Adam is actually alive. Mike attacks her again, but this time Christine fights back. During the struggle, she manages to trigger the hotel's fire alarm, creating enough chaos to escape before the police arrive and arrest Mike. Christine wakes up in the hospital where Dr. Nash visits her, this time as a friend instead of her therapist. He tells her Mike has been arrested and won't be able to hurt her again. Finally, Dr. Nash brings in 2 visitors. The real Ben walks into the room, followed by her son Adam. The moment Christine sees her son, her memories finally begin coming back. She remembers Adam, calls him by his name, and the two share an emotional reunion. The end. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time.